Hey, it's the Range Ronin. Glad to have you with me. The reason for this review is a very delayed response to an event that took place in a time long, long ago. Interested in more? Stick with me a bit as I present a short answer to home or personal defense. I was reading a few articles regarding home defense shotguns at one time. The usual list of characters was present, ranging from the Mossberg to the Benelli. 12 gauge, the 20 gauge, and even 410 shotguns were remarked upon. The short-barreled shotgun was mentioned, although stock types were not covered. That was to be expected, and some examples included pistol grips. I am not an advocate of just having pistol grips on a shotgun, having an unpleasant experience with them in the past. I prefer a full stock that allows the shotgun to roll in the hand, although a full stock with pistol grip is an accepted alternative. One consideration when deciding on a shotgun for home defense is muzzle blast, noise, and recoil. Alright, that is 3 things. Some folks are put off by one or all 3 for assorted reasons, and it usually comes down to physical limitations or space considerations. While we might not be able to do anything about space limitations, we might be able to tone down the platform and ammunition used when physical limitations are present, or if just a milder form of personal or home defense platform is desired. Due to physical limitations, of which I freely admit to having, I can no longer handle the recoil of a 12 gauge with even mild loads. Even a 20 gauge is pushing the limit, if I must shoulder the shotgun, which leads me into what I feel is an excellent choice in a home defense or personal firearm, the Mossberg 590 Nightstick, but that comes with a caveat. But first, the basics for the firearm under review. As I mentioned in the opening, the reason for this review video is a delayed response to an event that took place at some time in the past. My friend and shooting companion had modified an old Mossberg 500 combo 12 gauge shotgun with a pistol grip and synthetic forearm. He was also experimenting with minishells and with an adapter to run them, which I will get into later. I was extremely interested in the research he was doing and got myself involved with it, with a shotgun of my own, but not to the degree that he had committed. Still, I wanted to do some research on my own and with my own hardware. It has taken a while, but I finally realized that I wanted to author a video regarding short shotguns for home defense. Whereupon, said shotgun and equipment would not batter my physical fragilities, but more importantly, deplete the bank account. It was such that prompted research into the Mossberg Shockwave and Remington TAC 14, the former being my preferred brand of shotgun. I did not care that much with the composite furniture of the Mossberg Shockwave and Remington R14, but when the Mossberg Nightstick, a shockwave with different furniture, was presented to the public, my interest in a short firearm of this nature was renewed. This video is not so much about the Mossberg 590 Nightstick, as it will be about a combination of elements that complete the entire personal and home defense package that I had in mind. With that in mind, let us talk a bit about the Mossberg 590 Nightstick. The Nightstick model is everything good about shorty shotguns, even though it is not classified as a shotgun. It is a throwback to more refined weapon stocks. The Nightstick features wooden furniture. That is a personal like of mine on any firearm. The moment you lay eyes on the Nightstick, you are instantly transported to a different time when sawed-off shotguns were used for good and evil. The problem with too short of a shotgun, of course, is the legality, as Randy Weaver found out. However, the Mossberg Nightstick and Remington R14 will keep the federales at bay, as Mossberg 590 Nightstick is a manufactured firearm and not one that has been modified by the user. Before I get into the firearm specifics, let me address that manufactured firearm term just a bit. Under United States law, a shotgun is a weapon designed or redesigned to be fired from the shoulder, as defined in United States Code 18 U.S.C. 921, paragraph 5. To wit, the term shotgun means a weapon designed or redesigned, made or remade, and intended to be fired from the shoulder, and designed or redesigned, and made or remade to use the energy of an explosive to fire through a smooth bore, either a number of ball shot or a single projectile for each single pull of the trigger. If a shotgun is never designed to be fired from the shoulder, or was never redesigned to be fired from the shoulder, it is not a shotgun. If it is not a shotgun, it cannot be a short-barreled shotgun, because the Shockwave Nightstick never had a stock to allow it to be fired from the shoulder. Therefore, it is not a shotgun. It is also over 26 inches long, which ensures that it does not fall into the separate NFA category known as AOW, any other weapon. It is not a handgun, because the barrel is not rifled, and its overall length is greater than 26 inches. It is also not a rifle, because it does not have a rifled barrel, and it is not designed to be shoulder-fired, and it is not an SBS, short-barreled shotgun. 590 Nightstick is simply a firearm and is just a refined Mossberg Shockwave in old-school retro. So, let me touch on this Nightstick for a while. The wooden grip and forend of the Mossberg Nightstick are exceptionally well executed in their design. The grip is what Mossberg calls a raptor head. The basic shape is a thinner grip with a swill on the end to keep it in your hand, like a pirate's one-handed blunderbuss, as one reviewer put it. However, the grip is smooth with no checkering, and because of that, it is possible for the shooting hand to slide forward on the grip under recoil. The forend is a classic corncob design, with radius cuts all the way around to give you some purchase. Mossberg added a leather strap to the forend to keep the support hand in place. The leather strap prevents your hand from accidentally slipping in front of the barrel, which can easily happen under intense recoil and with wet hands. The strap is big enough for big hands, but not so large as to be a hindrance to those with smaller hands. The thicker barrel of the 590 Nightstick is 14.375 inches in length, which is in line with NFA, National Firearms Act, requirements, because the overall length must exceed 26 inches, and the barrel length is how Mossberg and Remington did it. A 14.375-inch barreled shotgun is obviously not ideal for hunting, but for social work, as I intended for it to be used, it is an excellent choice, in my humble opinion. The matte blue finish is excellent and well applied. The barrel is topped with a gold bead front sight, which also adds to the overall nostalgic feel of the Nightstick. The barrel length accommodates a 6-round capacity, 5 in the tube and 1 in the chamber, just like the full-size 590 models. The Nightstick features the same sliding tang safety on the top rear of the receiver, twin action bars, and dual extractors seen on the other models. The trigger is not a precision trigger, but it is crisp and clean enough to do the job. Since the Mossberg Nightstick is a 590 platform, the receiver is steel compared with the aluminum receiver of the Mossberg 500. The receiver is also drilled and tapped for a sight mount. The action lock lever is located on the left side of the trigger housing, just rearward of the trigger guard. The action lock lever allows the action to be unlocked and open for inspection of the chamber or unloading without pulling the trigger. The action may be opened by pressing the lever upward and pulling the forearm rearward. Sling mounts are provided front and rear. Blackhawk sling swivels work well with them. With full load 12-gauge fodder, especially with slugs and buckshot, 590 Nightstick can be a handful to handle, which is a detriment to home or personal defense if it cannot be controlled. Which leads me into part 2 of this review. Nobody in their right mind really wants to light a 12-gauge shotgun off in a closed space without hearing protection. I have been there and done that, which has resulted in a permanent loss of most of the hearing in my left ear. I have never been known to be in my right mind at times. As old age stares me in the face, and between the voices in my head and tinnitus, my right ear is not faring that well either. Although the Mossberg Nightstick is not a shotgun, it does fire 12-gauge shotgun ammunition, and common sense dictates that hearing protection should be worn when shooting shotgun ammunition in a short-barreled firearm, or any firearm for that matter. One answer to the havoc that ensues when pulling the trigger on a firearm of the Mossberg 590 Nightstick type is the use of short, low-recoil ammunition. Agia and others have answered the call for such ammunition. Two predominant shorty shotgun ammunition that comes to mind is the Agia minishell ammunition 12-gauge, 1 3/4 inch, number 4, and number 1 buckshot, and Agia minishell ammunition 12-gauge, 1 3/4 inch, 7/8 ounce rifled slug. Let me roll the product information for both. With the feeding issue of the 1 3/4 inch shotgun ammunition, and especially with the Mossberg 590 Nightstick, some changes must be made to ensure that the shotgun will feed minishells reliably. That leads me to the means to do so. In August of 2018, I wrote a review article on the Opsol mini clip, and the review was very positive. My friend and shooting companion, was instrumental in piquing my interest in Shorty's shotgun shells. After he converted his conventional Mossberg 500 to a pistol-gripped user-friendly shotgun, around the same time as the article. In fact, the adapter found its way into one of my Mossberg 500 tactical models, where it has remained. While I do have a few Mossberg 500 shotguns and one Mossberg 590 tactical shotgun, the idea of having a shorter barreled shotgun enticed me, and thus the Mossberg 590 Nightstick was purchased, due to several reasons that I have already mentioned. The Mossberg 590 Nightstick, like my Mossberg 500 Tactical, had to receive the Opsol Mini-Clip 2.0 Flex product. Let me say here that the Opsol Mini-Clip 2.0 Flex installs and uninstalls quickly, and rather than bore you here with the installation and removal, I have provided a link in the description section to a separate review of this product. The Opsol Mini-Clip 2.0 Flex was an essential for running Shorty shells. The Mossberg Nightstick, being a Mossberg 590 platform, will accept any add-ons that you desire to include. A side saddle to carry extra shells, a 1913 Picatinny rail on top of the receiver for mounting optics, a heat shield for the barrel, a fiber front sight, and a different forearm with or without a vertical or folding pistol grip, just to name a few accessories. I am on the fence about add-ons, but any feature that can aid and abet the handling, firing, and control of a firearm is welcomed by me, and due to the nature of the Mossberg Nightstick, I visualized a red or green laser mounted on a top rail. I had mounted a red laser unit with a rear push-button on-off switch on my Mossberg 500 Tactical, one that I could just reach up with my shooting hand without removing my hand from the stock and activate or deactivate with my thumb or other digit of my hand. The laser unit, once sighted in, would help in pointing of the shotgun, especially when firing from the hip, just as the Mossberg Nightstick is intended to be fired. But it is also useful when firing the shotgun at any position. But the laser unit could not be cumbersome and throw the Nightstick out of balance. For the Nightstick, a Monstrum red laser sight system with Picatinny mount was installed. I will have a separate review on this product, and to keep things short for this presentation, it works very well. Since the unit worked so well on the Nightstick, the laser on my 500 Tactical was replaced with one. Let me take a brief pause and get a grip on things. Since the grip of the Mossberg Nightstick is non-textured wood, it is slippery in the hand, especially if the hands are wet. I can see a strip or two of talon grip material, which would help the hand to stay in place. A good set of shooting gloves may also help for range practice, although I doubt there would be time to don a shooting glove in the heat of the night. I customized the talon rubberized grip material that I had ordered for the firearm. Since I had wood furniture, I did not want to hide all the wood, but I still needed enough material to prevent my hand from slipping on the stock. My solution was to remove all material except for the side panels. Not that it matters to the bad guy, but it does matter to me. Another upgrade was to remount the forearm strap. The strap allows even a gloved hand to wrap around the forearm. Taking off on a Q by Hickok 45, who put tape over the mounting screws, I thought why not simply remount the strap so that the mounting screws were on the outside rather than on the inside of the strap. And that is what I did. The edges of the strap are well finished, and the reduction in interior size helps the hand to stay within the confines of the strap, even with a gloved hand, if the gloves are not too thick. Lastly, and since the front sight brass bead can be washed out in bright sunlight, I opted to use the high-vis snap-on sight. The high-vis snap-on sight simply snaps onto the barrel and locks into place against the front sight. I have used this sight on several shotguns, and it is a terrific addition. The sight is available from that jungle store. While I don't ever intend for the Nightstick to be close to my face when firing, the high-vis front sight will simply serve as a reference point to get the front end pointed in the right direction. I had previously mentioned a side saddle to hold spare ammunition. No side saddle is planned, however. While I see their purpose and have installed and then removed them in the past on shotguns, they make the firearm cumbersome. If I cannot take care of business with 8+1 rounds of shotgun ammunition, well. And speaking of that, why don't I take the Mossberg 590 Nightstick and you to the range, just to see how things unfold. Several shooting sessions were planned for this firearm. The first session was to run it as it came from the factory, and the second session was to run it with my laser sight upgrade. My plan was to evaluate my performance more than the firearm, with and without a laser sight. For the first session, the Mossberg 590 Nightstick was taken from the box, quickly inspected for functioning, and then taken to the range after the required paperwork and transfer fee was taken care of. For the first session, 2 silhouette targets were used for testing, one for buckshot at 7 yards, which would be a good distance to test for my accuracy, and spread of the Agia minishell ammunition 12 gauge, 1 3/4 inch, number 4 and number 1 buckshot, with 11 pellets. The distance of the slug target was also set at 7 yards to check for my accuracy with this ammunition. Note that the first session ran without issue, which I had expected. The images show the patterning and slug impacts at 7 yards. Now, let's watch the second session and talk about some other things as I am shooting, like recoil. Recoil is mild, even with the Agia minishell ammunition 12 gauge, 1 7/8 inch, 7/8 ounce slug rifled slug ammunition. Sport hand, the one that works the pumper, endures most of the recoil. Surprisingly, I felt truly little of the recoil in the grip. Even with a firm grip on the pump handle, the recoil would force my hand to the front of the strap as the firearm recoiled to the rear, for which I thank Mossberg for having the foresight to add a strap to the forearm. Under fast fire, or when using wet hands to work the pump, the hand could go forward off of the pump handle without the strap being in place, although the corncob forearm does provide a good gripping surface. The web of my pumping hand was rubbing against the strap's mounting screws, and I felt some irritation during the shooting session. A shooting glove helped to alleviate that problem. That said, I probably would not have enough time to don shooting gloves when someone is intent on entering the domicile and doing harm to those within the domicile. Domicilers? Other than shotgun recoil, there is shotgun patterning. Any shotgun must be patterned for shooting pellets, birdshot or buckshot. Shotguns with long barrels, such as those used for hunting, may have a tight pattern when used for close work. Short-barreled shotguns, however, may have a greater shot pattern radius at the same distance. The longer the distance, the greater the spread. Choke size affects the pattern. At a given distance, the shot spread of a cylinder bored, not choke shotgun, will be greater than a shotgun that has a full choke. Remember that we are not hunting. Distances from 5 to 10 yards may be probable inside a house, and you must know the radius of your shotgun's pattern at those distances. And going against conventional thinking, you do need to aim a shotgun for maximum effectiveness. I'll give you a little time to refer to the image for shotgun choke information. Back to shooting, lest I digress too much. With the Opsol Mini-Clip 2.0 flex in place, one Guilliam mini-shell ammunition, 12 gauge, 1 3/4 inch, number 4 and number 1 buckshot, 11 pellets were loaded and chambered, which was then followed up by 8 in the feed tube. You heard that correctly, 8 in the tube. The normal capacity of the Mossberg 590 Nightstick is 5+1, with 2 3/4 inch shells, and I was going to up that by 3. When shooting a shotgun with a pistol grip, the support arm, the pump handle handling arm, may or not be fully extended. The shooting hand pivots the shotgun around the front sight. Although the Mossberg Nightstick might be classified as just another firearm, one still must grip the forearm and hand grip firmly. The mild recoil of minishells will not interrupt the front of the barrel that much. In fact, the recoil is much less than when shooting conventional loads. What is bothersome, at first, is the angle of the hand on the forearm and hand grip, whereas the hand grip angle is different than with a conventional pistol grip, but it's more like the grip used with a conventional stock, only with some of the stock missing. Unlike a conventional pistol grip, the hand is more horizontal than vertical. With a more horizontal angle, the grip tends to move rearward into the palm of the hand, since there is nothing to brace against the shoulder. Therefore, having a solid hold on the forearm and the Raptor grip is essential. Hickok 45 found out why while he was firing full loads out of a Mossberg 590 Shockwave. When the shotgun recoiled, his hand slid forward on the grip as the grip moved to the rear, which resulted in the tang-mounted safety to injure the web of his shooting hand. His idea of a fix was to wrap hockey tape around the hand grip for a better gripping surface. Due to the light recoil, especially when shooting mini-shell slugs, and a good grip on the pump handle, the muzzle rise of the Mossberg Nightstick is truly little. Therefore, I did not have to compensate as much as I would when firing conventional slugs, and that I did not have to aim as low on the target as I normally would, and that is a plus. The shot pattern was exceptionally good, with all shots remaining on target. On the slug target, impacts were predictable, and center mass can become one big hole. With a .73 caliber, .875 ounce slug, traveling at an estimated 1,250 feet per second, impacting something made of flesh, blood, and bone, there would be serious negative consequences and a life-changing experience. The paper silhouette targets used in the making of these range sessions were seriously harmed. To borrow a line used in the movie The Last Samurai,
"It was a good death."
buckshot patterning of a defensive manufactured firearm is crucial due to the short 14.375-inch barrel and the distances most likely to be included in a close encounter of the worst kind. The greater the distance, the greater the spread, and because of that, buckshot may lose some effectiveness at longer distances, but still can be very effective at stopping a threat. The closer the distance, the more destructive it will be. A good laser pointer, like the Monstrum unit, helps to center the mass on the target, over a by golly, hip shooting estimation. I think that it could be said that a 7/8 ounce 12-gauge slug contained in a mini-shell package and traveling at 1,250 feet per second at the muzzle would be highly effective at close range. Getting back on target for follow-up shots is slower than with a shoulder-mounted shotgun, but then again, a follow-up shot or shots may not be needed. Your thoughts? The Mossberg 590 Nightstick takes some adaptation on the part of the user. Most reviews that I have read on the firearm have comments regarding the use of the firearm, with most saying that it is nothing more than a novelty and fun to shoot at the range. Others recognize its use as a personal defense firearm, although most agreed that a shoulder-mounted shotgun or a handheld pistol offered more promise as a personal defense firearm. I have to say that I agree with both sides of the argument, as the Mossberg Nightstick is a less stable firearm since it cannot be shoulder-mounted. The Mossberg Nightstick, like any other firearm, must be aimed, and a laser sight can help in that department. The Mossberg 590 Nightstick is a different type of firearm, although it is very closely related to the perception of a shotgun. By legal definition, it is not. If you are used to operating a pump-action shotgun, manual of arms for the Mossberg 590 Nightstick will be extremely familiar to you. If you are used to firing a shotgun with a standard stock from the hip or mid-chest, Mossberg 590 Nightstick will be operated the same way, with a push-pull method, and with the biggest difference being the 14-inch barrel and an abbreviated stock, which makes the Mossberg 590 Nightstick less cumbersome to handle, less than even with a shotgun with an 18-inch barrel. Adapting to the less recoiling short ammunition will be welcomed. That is really where the Mossberg 590 Nightstick shines, with minishells. Otherwise, the firearm can be quite brutal in recoil with full power ammunition. That brutality carries over in muzzle blast and noise. The combination of Mossberg 590 Nightstick, Agia mini shells or Federal, and the Opsol Mini Clip 2.0 Flex makes for one excellent compact package that can be used for home or personal defense. I have dedicated this firearm to run mini shells exclusively, with a Agia 1 3/4 inch 7/8 ounce slugs being my preferred choice of ammunition. And with a few upgrades, the firearm is now personalized and works better for me. In closing, and as I mentioned, some are saying that the Mossberg Nightstick and other shotguns like it are simple novelties, fun to shoot, but not necessarily good for personal or home defense. I say, bull hockey to that. While I will not say that the Mossberg 590 Shockwave or Nightstick are self-defense panacea, but with practice and with low recoil ammunition, they can be easily controlled. I will say that it is a viable option for those who are interested in this type of platform. With all upgrades, the firearm's dry weight has gone from 5 pounds 4 ounces to 5 pounds 10.6 ounces. Not a significant increase in the grand scheme of things. Do the upgrades make the Mossberg 590 Nightstick unwieldy? Not at all. While it is not as streamlined as in original form, handling has not been affected, although the functionality has, for the better. The Mossberg 590 Nightstick is destined to be the bedroom go-to firearm. With the selected ammunition and upgrades, I have no doubt that the Mossberg 590 Nightstick will be able to carry out the duties that I impose on it, without fail. As a very last note, Mossberg 590 Shockwave and Nightstick are also available in 20 gauge, albeit you will be shooting standard 20 gauge ammunition. However, I have found that the 12 gauge minishells have less recoil than even the 20 gauge. Well, I believe that it is time to wrap up this chapter in the Range Ronin Chronicles. I hope that you will return to watch my other reviews, guns and gear, as I do treasure your company. Until we meet again, and I hope that we will, take care of yourself, be vigilant, be armed, and be safe out there.